McGee and Me was a short-lived show produced by Focus on the Family. McGee and Me is a kid's show about a boy named Nick and his imaginary friend McGee, a small blonde animated character that Nick drew himself. Let's talk about it a bit. First off, the show has a pretty awesome opening sequence. Nick is just a normal suburban kid living with his parents, 2 sisters, and grandmother. They also have a dog named Whatever.
Whatever, get out of there.
Daddy, why are you always picking on Whatever?
I wonder how they came up with that name.
Papa, what should we name our new puppy?
Ugh, I don't know, whatever. Just shut up.
Whatever.
The show deals with the trials of growing up and learning lessons along the way. And yes, that sounds like just about every sitcom in the early 90s. However, this one implements a biblical perspective as well. Even if you don't believe in that kind of thing, I think you'll still find plenty to be entertained by. It's honestly not super pushy or preachy. As I said in the intro, Nick has an imaginary friend named McGee that has come to life out of his drawings. Sometimes McGee gives advice.
You'll be sorry.
Aren't you coming?
No way. I got principles.
Sometimes he and Nick fight.
You jarhead.
It's a pretty normal friendship. But sometimes it's not clear that McGee is actually imaginary. For instance, the dog can see him.
Come here, boy.
And he can apparently interact with real-life objects. My only conclusion is that Nick is some sort of sorcerer and has trapped the soul of some unwitting victim into his cartoon. Nick has a few friends throughout the series. Louis, Renee, and Philip are the most recurring ones. Louis is Nick's best friend, but he's always mean to Nick.
Execution? The plan, stupid! The plan! Forget it, man. This hall's not big enough for us, and your head, too.
He's willing to risk it all to beat up somebody as wimpy as you. I mean, my little sister could beat you up.
The resident bully of the series is Derek Kreider, and man, he's pretty intimidating.
Ready to die?
According to IMDb, there was an incident on the set where the actor who played Derek, Johnny Green, was caught smoking a cigarette by one of the executives at Focus on the Family. This almost led to him being fired, but the producers swayed Focus to keep him on because of how much was invested into the character. I feel like firing him would have been way too extreme. I mean, yes, don't smoke, it's bad for you. But it's not like he was caught chugging a bottle of whiskey and punching crew members.
Are you kidding me? He was caught smoking a cigarette? You better handle this soon, or we're ruined. You hear me? Ruined.
Actually, no, you know what? Smoke if you want to. I'm not your mother. The Derek character eventually becomes good and even friendly with Nick.
Look, just be who you are, man. These things don't fit you.
The actor that played Nick, Joe Damon, and the actress who played his older sister, Sarah Damon, are real-life siblings. Joe got into drugs and alcohol, which is sadly what happens to a lot of child actors, but it seems like he's been in recovery for a good number of years now, so that's a pretty great thing. The soundtrack. Oh my goodness. There are so many rockin' tunes on this show.
Love never lies. Love never lies. Stand up, do what you have to do. Stay tough, 'cause you're gonna make it through. Step by step through the danger zone. Step by step, but you're never alone. There's no way to go but up and over the hill. Just step by step.
There were 12 episodes of McGee and Me, 9 in the first season, and only 3 in the second. Those episodes included Nick getting on and losing a Nickelodeon-style game show, Nick learning how to rock climb,
Next time. Forget it. Not gonna be a next time.
and Nick lying about an American Indian guy, causing Derek and his goons to destroy the man's house. Yes, that actually happens.
He's a crazy Indian, man. He eats live animals.
I'm just saying, if a bunch of kids decided to destroy my house, I'd welcome it. I got 2 words for you. Insurance money.
Another episode involves Nick's friend Lewis convincing him to sneak out and go to a monster movie against the wishes of his parents.
We don't want you filling your mind with that kind of garbage. You know that.
But Mom, I told you. Shut up!
Nick is so disgusted by the movie that we get this long montage with sad music to really drive the point home.
Stick it in your mind. It's gonna stay right there in your heart.
Then when he gets back to his house, his parents are waiting for him and he has to confess.
Did you go to the movies?
Yes, sir.
And boy, are they mad. But let me clarify. They don't seem to be mad at the fact that Nick lied to them and snuck out. It seems like their main issue is that he saw a horror movie. Because if you claim to have any sort of moral foundation in your life, there is no way you would ever watch those kinds of movies.
Just by going to see it, you've put something into your mind to dirty it, to pollute it.
It's a really bizarre and heavy-handed scene. The movie in question...
Night of the Black Priest!
Yes. It sounds absolutely horrifying. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, it's pretty hard to talk about, you know? In life, there are those little mistakes that you can move on from immediately, but then there's the ones that stick with you for the rest of your life. If I hadn't watched that movie when I was 12 years old, I probably would have a job. I wouldn't be a recluse. And I probably wouldn't be on 9 different medications. I wish I had never seen Mad Monster Party.
Stick it in your mind. It's gonna stay right there in your heart.
But my favorite one is probably the Christmas episode. 'Twas the Fight Before Christmas. In this one, we get a glimpse into Derek's human side and see that he comes from a pretty broken home. Nick gets to share the meaning of Christmas with him, and we really start to see him change for the better.
I don't really know either. Maybe I'm just starting to see things different.
And honestly, I think this would have been a good episode to end the series on. The second season just wasn't the same. Everyone looked like they aged about 10 years. And they were supposed to be in middle school.
All I know is, if you want to be someone in junior high, you've got to be like Rex Rogers.
Also, it seems like the producers couldn't decide where the setting of this show actually was. The vast majority of episodes take place in Van Nuys, California, but then there are episodes speckled throughout that are supposed to be in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's weird. I'm not sure what exactly led to the show being canceled, but my assumption would be that the money ran out. That seems to be the case anytime Focus attempts to create a live-action series. The only long-running series they've had is Adventures in Odyssey, and that's an audio show, so it's much cheaper to produce. Back in the day, I had every episode of McGee and Me on VHS. They're probably rotting at some thrift store at this point. I don't even have a working VCR anymore, but I should have kept them for the exceptional artwork on the covers. They did release the full series on DVD in 4 different releases. I have 2 of these and am still on the hunt for the other 2. They can be extremely hard to find and often go for ridiculous prices online. I actually found the 2 I have in the dollar bin at my local video store. Here's hoping the other 2 show up. There is an archive site where you can watch the entire series for free. As far as I can tell, it's perfectly legal, so I will link it in the description. So be sure to check it out, and I think you'll end up enjoying yourself. Rodney, what are you doing?
Look, I saw your new video. I know how much these go for. And let's just say I'm setting up shop.
Wait, how have you seen the video? We're literally in it right now.
Doesn't matter. These are mine.
Stick it in your mind. It's gonna stay right there in your heart.